It's like Killing Emmett Young, except with more action. If you haven't seen Emmett Young, it's basically very similar in plot to the plot of The Killer's Game. When I saw the trailer for this is one of those trailers that I just watched because I didn't care. As soon as it showed the setup, I was like, this is like Killing Emmett Young, except the main character is a hitman instead of a detective. Anyways, kind of funny. The premise of this story is Dave Bautista plays a hitman who finds out that he has a terminal disease, and he decides to put out a hit on his own life for various reasons. Then he finds out that the medical facility was mistaken and he's not dying, and he can't cancel the hit, and so chaos ensues. There's all sorts of reasons why the hit isn't canceled, or there's one main reason why the hit's not canceled, and so this just throws into motion the showdown that he has with all the different assassins, and there are multiple assassins that come after him. In the meantime, he's got other things to worry about, like he's got a lady love, and he doesn't want her to get caught up in all of this stuff. At the end of the movie, it mentions that it was based on a book by the same name. And so when I got back home, I looked up the book, saw that it was written in 1997, and I wondered if that book had also served as the basis for the story Killing Emmett Young, which I think that was starring Scott Wolf. I can't find any connection between those two things. So, I guess it's not like this is a highly unusual sort of story, but it was something that stuck with me after I saw Killing Emmett Young, it's an okay movie. I liked it. He was a detective working on a serial murder case, and this very similar sort of setup with him and the showdown with the assassin that was coming after him. It felt like at the end of that movie, it kind of just, the conclusion didn't feel as satisfying as I was hoping, even though it was fine. This one definitely had much more of a feeling of completeness to the story than Killing Emmett Young. I enjoyed this film. It was pretty action-packed, and there were some moments of humor. This is classified as an action comedy. Dave Bautista does a good job in the role. I mean, he's fine. I can't remember the chick who plays his girlfriend, but she's the one who played in Rebel Moon and the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. She was fine in here. It takes a good bit of setup before events happen that set all of this danger into motion. It's about 45 minutes in where he finds out that no, he does not have this thing that's going to kill him. Now, this is something that's revealed in the trailer, so I'm not giving you guys any spoilers. I felt like that was a good amount of time to set up his character, because you're introduced to his character and what he does. He meets this woman, they begin this relationship, then he finds out about this supposed terminal illness and all of these different connected storylines as far as what he does, who he hires to carry out the hit on him, and his relationship with his girlfriend. So I can't really complain about the pacing. I knew where it was leading to, and I felt like it did a good job of giving us these characters, presenting them to us. We become attached to them, or we start to care for them because of their relationship with each other. And, so I feel like there was decent character buildup. Once he finds out, there's probably about a little bit less than an hour left to go in the story. So the remaining, let's say 50 minutes, this is an hour and 44 minutes. The credits start to roll about 8 to 10 minutes before the runtime end. So there was about 50 minutes left of him battling it out with these different hitmen that come after him, and women. And there's various groups that it portrays. It shows the intro to each group of assassins was pretty fun and well done, well shot. The movie's well shot. The action scenes are well choreographed. There were a couple of times with the typical, intentional missing and people being magically prepared to come at a character when it almost feels like, well, they were just waiting their turn to enter the fight, that sort of thing. But it wasn't enough that it stuck out to me or became annoying or anything else like that, even though there were a few flaws that I saw while I was watching it. Nothing super major, just little tiny nitpicky things. Nothing that I feel would warrant not wanting to see the film. I would watch this movie again. Some of the moments of humor were with the dialogue and with certain action sequences that happened, with the way certain kills happened were kind of funny. There's also a group of assassins that go after him. I think they're Scottish men. And when it shows them, they're speaking English, but it has subtitles because their accent's so thick. They have to put, I think they did that to be funny. I could understand them completely, but they did have thick accents. So some people might have trouble understanding them, which the movie makers understood. So I think it was just a bit of comedy on their part to throw in subtitles, which I don't know, that stuck out to me. I even wrote it down, subtitles on Scottish people. I like also how they showed, in a lot of movies like this, there's montage scenes, and I liked how they put together showing clips of him dating this girl, the different times that they would spend with each other, and intermixing that with scenes showing him doing his job, like various people that they killed, and how they would bring those scenes together. It was pretty creative, and I liked that. I noticed it. I wrote montage of a and dating, and you'll know it when you see it. There was also a quote in here that was it's kind of funny because it apparently is a Dolly Parton quote, either a quote or something from her song, where Dave Bautista's like mentor / boss or whatever, played by Ben Kingsley, he mentioned to Dave in the first part of or early part of the film, he said something about never getting so busy making a living that you forget to make a life, or you forget to live, or something like that. I like that quote. And then Dave Bautista even mentioned something about the quote, and Ben Kingsley said it was Dolly Parton. And then, of course, they play a Dolly Parton song. I just thought that was funny. The little flaws with this film, like I said, pretty minor. And they were just things that happened in certain situations that stuck out to me as being not consistent with reality. Of course, the type of film this is not going to be super consistent with reality, but still. There was a part where a female character gets punched in the face, and that same female character, right before she gets punched in the face, she has hauled off and kicked some guy a couple times, and at one point she ends up kicking him in the face or something like that. Later, he's got, the marks on his face to show the damage that was done to him, but she has nothing on her face to show that she got punched by a guy about twice her size. Not a big deal, but still, it would have been nice to see them reflecting the fact that she got punched in the freaking face by a guy twice her size. Anyway, that was a non-issue, really. I'm mentioning it, but it's nothing that really affects the plot overall for me. A few other things. There's a scene where, and I know this is done for comedic purposes, but given the nature of this type of story and the fact that the main character is fighting for his life against all these different hitmen, there's one hitman he goes up against. It's a Spanish guy who likes to listen to music while he fights, and they're getting ready to fight, and the Spanish dude says something like, un segundo. And when he puts his earbuds in and starts up the music, heck no, I wouldn't be giving him a second. I'd just be going ahead and trying to take him out right then and there. It was supposed to be comedic, but for me, I was just like, really? Again, a minor thing, honestly, not that big of a deal. It was another thing that happened that kind of made me feel like, well, that's convenient. Okay. There's a character. Now, mind you, Dave Bautista, he's getting shot at all over the place. Bullets magically missing him, even though he's fairly close to them. And then there's another character who gets hit by a bullet as they are in a car driving away, and the car's quite a distance away and going around a corner, and somehow this person inside this shot just magically gets them. I know this can happen. I do understand that there are times that this can happen, but when you've got a character previously that had been dodging bullets basically like Neo, how in the world are we supposed to buy into the fact that, oh, this bullet happens to hit this person in the car? Well, that's convenient, because then it leads to this event happening, and then this event, and this event, all because this person got shot. Yeah, for purposes of moving the plot along, I get it, but little things like maybe the car should have been closer, maybe the shot should have been cleaner and more easy to make, then you could buy into it. I'm nitpicking, I'm telling you, I'm totally nitpicking because it does not affect my enjoyment of the overall movie. All that to say, this movie was fun. If you like action comedies, if you like Dave Bautista, I would advise checking it out. I felt like it was worth the watch. I'm not angry with it. I came away feeling pretty happy, so that's a plus in my book. Anyway, that's all I have to say about The Killer's Game. If you get a chance to check it out, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.